What is the situation right now? We're recording this March 4th, I think, 22, or yeah, 2022. Has there been developments in what's happened to Afghans who came? And one thing is, I get emails from people, or people put comments on my TikTok and YouTube pages saying, my loved one came and they're one of these camps right now, these military bases. What do they do next? What's happening? Do they get green cards or work permits? What is the status of those people?
So, up to date, with the August fall of Kabul to the Taliban, there has been an estimate, and I'm getting different numbers, but what it stands at right now is about 83,000 Afghan refugees were paroled in. And the parolee status initially didn't allow them to get the benefits, didn't allow them to get the benefits of the refugee status. So what happened was, they were paroled in, and then a lot of advocates fought for it and were able to get parolee benefits for them, the 3-month resettlement, and then some more benefits to the federal, like similar to asylum. In the last 6 months or so, all of 83,000 or so have been resettled throughout the United States. A lot of them seeking California, Texas, Virginia, DC area, and they were over inundated. So the last pack of individuals left Fort Dix in New Jersey about around February 15. And they were, resettled in Airbnbs, hotels, and whatnot, whatever they could. So currently they have what's called the parolee status for 2 years. And for those who are eligible for asylum, which is going to be a bulk of them, either because they're not primarily eligible for the special immigrant visa, the SIV visas, or they're not able to meet the requirements. So the fallback would be an asylum application. So there's someone gave an estimate of maybe 60% of those would be filing for asylum. And the issue right now is about providing pro bono services for everyone. I just got off a call right now with a large alliance and large law firms who are going to be working together to get pro bono attorneys and be able to take these massive cases. On the side note, the legislative advocacy group nationally has, along with the vet groups, have been fighting to try to get the Afghan Adjustment Act, referred to as the AAA, and trying to get some Republicans on band to be able to support this. And we have till March 11th, I believe, to be able to get Republicans to pick up on this and endorse it. One of the questions you asked early on is, we got, thankfully, TPS for Ukrainians, and why Afghans don't have it. The argument has been on those who are fighting on the forefront is that if we get the TPS would, and there's been discrepancies in different groups I've been, is whether we're trying to get the TPS for either the 2,000 Afghans that were here on some sort of status and needed, or as a whole, the parolees. And the tactic has been, let's try to push for the Afghan Adjustment Act and then push for TPS. So many people have been saying, well, why are Afghans not getting TPS, but Ukrainians got it? And there is some elements to what we're seeing, the rhetoric, the racist, double standard that we're hearing. But in this particular instance, it's because of the strategic move to get AAA passed.
And, TPS, now I'm thinking about it, we had to talk offline about this, it's temporary. But if the Taliban is the government there, then TPS is never going to end. So you might as well give adjustment or something like that. Whereas in the war in Ukraine, ideally it's an end, and normalcy will come, and a some sort of democratic republic government is going to come. But it's not going to be temporary, because that the group that's leading there is the government, and it's not going to change. So this temporary TPS would be a false thing, because it's not going to be temporary. It's going to be forever, essentially.
Right, and the rhetoric for against the AAA Act is that apparently some portion of the Afghan population do not qualify for SIV because they had no connection to that. And so there's been a lot of push and a lot of talking points in terms of how to advocate for the Afghan Adjustment Act, similar to the Cuban Adjustment Act that had been done. The most logical sense would be to have the AAA Act, because you can't send these Afghans back.
Yeah.
And TPS would just continue. And the other question is, a large portion of these individuals are illiterate in the sense they can read in Pashto, Dari, English, and majority of them don't speak English. So I think sometimes I hear people say, well, they're translators, so they all must speak English. But that's absolutely not the case. Having been to 7 of the 8 military bases it's a wide range of people. You see people from the primitive village areas where they worked with the U.S. military in certain regions, but were not utilized in terms of the language skills. So they don't speak English. Even when I'm talking in Pashto or Dari with them, they would say, I understand what you're saying, but I have no idea what you're saying, if that makes sense. So the Afghan Adjustment Act would be a way to just give them permanent pathway. So if you do TPS, somebody's got to go and renew that every few years.
Yeah,
Right now we have a backlog of 450,000 asylum cases. How is that realistically going to pan out?